Hi, I'm Kate with The Productive Teacher, and today we're going to play the word maker game with the esh word family. One-syllable words can have an onset, that's the letter or letters that come before the vowel in a word, and a rime, that's the vowel and any letters that come after it. Words in the same word family have the same rime, but their onsets can be different. We're going to combine onsets and the esh rime to make different words. As you watch the video, you can listen to me read the words, you can read the words along with me, or you can mute the video and read the words by yourself. Let's get started. Besh. Besh is not a word. Sesh. Sesh is not a word. Remember, the letter C makes the S sound before the letter E. Desh. Desh is not a word. Fesh. Fesh is not a word. Jesh. Jesh is not a word. Remember, the letter G makes the J sound before the letter E. Hesh. Hesh is not a word. Jesh. Jesh is not a word. Kesh. Kesh is not a word. Lesh. Lesh is not a word. Mesh. Mesh is a word. Nesh. Nesh is not a word. Pesh. Pesh is not a word. Resh. Resh is not a word. Sesh. Sesh is not a word. Tesh. Tesh is not a word. Vesh. Vesh is not a word. Wesh. Wesh is not a word. Yesh. Yesh is not a word. Zesh. Zesh is not a word. Chesh. Chesh is not a word. Fesh. Fesh is not a word. Shesh. Shesh is not a word. Thesh. Thesh is not a word. Quesh. Quesh is not a word. Wesh. Wesh is not a word. Blesh. Blesh is not a word. Bresh. Bresh is not a word. Klesh. Klesh is not a word. Cresh. Cresh is not a word. Dresh. Dresh is not a word. Flesh. Flesh is a word. Fresh. Fresh is a word. Glesh. Glesh is not a word. Gresh. Gresh is not a word. Plesh. Plesh is not a word. Presh. Presh is not a word. Slesh. Slesh is not a word. Smesh. Smesh is not a word. Spesh. Spesh is not a word. Stesh. Stesh is not a word. Tresh. Tresh is not a word. Scresh. Scresh is not a word. Shresh. Shresh is not a word. Splesh. Splesh is not a word. Squesh. Squesh is not a word. Stresh. Stresh is not a word. Thresh. Thresh is a word. Awesome, let's count up how many words we made. Great job, you made 4 words in the esh word family. Thanks so much for playing. I'll see you next time.